Hello clever people and welcome to my review for Aladdin. So Aladdin is a new movie out by Disney. It is a remake of the 1989 or 1990 musical of the same name, Aladdin. And this one follows the story of a peasant whose name is Aladdin, who lives on the streets and lives basically by stealing, and he runs into Jasmine, who is a princess. And it's through their romantic relationship that a lot of the film's conflict revolves around. So this live-action Aladdin movie I really haven't been looking forward to because I thought that the trailers were terrible. They all looked really, really bad in my opinion, and I was really not looking forward to seeing this movie. Reviews came out and at first they were kind of positive and then they kind of went more into the mixed area. So really I just went in expecting exactly what I got from the trailers. And for the most part, that's what I got. Aladdin is unfortunately a very, very poorly made movie. I think the biggest thing about it is that Guy Ritchie, the director, is not a guy who should direct musicals. He didn't really understand what to do with the musical numbers in this movie. If they were choreography, if it was anything like that, the choreography looked robotic because the people were moving in ways that people don't move, and it was clearly digitalized. It wasn't real choreography at all. It was either that or characters were just walking or talking, or that was it. They weren't doing much, and there was no in-between balance between those two things, between the crazy choreography and the walking, which is where most musicals should exist. But also, all of the other scenes in this movie, or it was just dialogue, the ones that didn't have Will Smith in them were horrible. Because the actors that they cast in this movie, they didn't know what their characters were. They were either trying to be the Disney characters, but with like a twist, and they never really found their footing if they were trying to be the Disney characters or if they were trying to be a more realistic version of these characters. It seemed like Guy Ritchie didn't tell them what they should do or what they were supposed to do. So because of that, we ended up with this really weird mesh pot of both ideas that really just didn't work. The only person in this movie that I think worked, which surprised me, was Will Smith, because I thought that he was very bad from the trailers. But he surprised me in this movie. He was actually, honestly, the best part. He was funny. He took his own spin on the character that was different from Robin Williams, which I very much liked. I just didn't like a lot of the things they did with him. At one point, as the genie, he starts beatboxing, which just doesn't make sense in the movie. He also is the most affected by auto-tune, I would say, out of everybody in the movie, because all of the numbers all use some pretty heavy auto-tune, and because of that they all sounded terrible. But Will Smith seems to be the most affected by this, especially when he's singing Arabian Nights at the beginning. It's terrible. You can hear the auto-tune and it's ringing through. They also add in a couple new numbers into this movie, but the problem with those numbers is that they felt too modern. They didn't actually feel like they fit in Aladdin. They felt like they should be on a new pop singer's next album. They didn't really fit in the movie. So really, I think that this movie was just a big identity crisis. The actors didn't know what to do. The director didn't know what to do with the musical scenes. It seemed like everybody was just confused on what they wanted, and because of that, it seemed rushed, it seemed unnecessary, and in the end, Aladdin seemed like a total disaster. I will give Aladdin a 3.5 out of 10. Alright, that concludes my review for Aladdin. So, what are your thoughts on this film, or what do you think of the Disney original? Comment in the comment section below and let me know. I'm Robert Burke, and this has been The Clever Critics. Goodbye.